Hi everyone, this is Dee from What I Do with My Budget. Today we're closing off the month of January. Hello everyone. So, like I said, today we're closing off the month of January. It's very early morning. Everybody is sleeping, so probably that's why I might be talking a little bit softer, but let's do this. I think it's the perfect moment. So I've never done this with you guys before, but I wanted to do this. Everybody does it, and I think it's really helpful. It's just that I do it in a different way. So usually what people do here with the calendar, they note all the expenses they have done. I use it a little bit differently. So the way that I use it is I only add the unexpected or unplanned expenses that I had in the month. So everything else that I had pre-planned or that I had put money aside for, that I had saved for, is not in here. Because to me, it's something that I already knew that it was going to happen, and I already know when it's going to happen. This is more all the times that I use either my credit card. Usually it's my credit card. This month I use my debit card too, but it's usually only my credit card. And all the expenses that I put in my credit card, I try to use it at the least possible because I am paying my debts. I'm not yet into paying my credit card, but I don't want to, top it off. So I'm trying to use it the least possible. So I'm going to go week by week. And the first thing that I had here, so I bought some food. So I only spent $5.18 here on the 2nd of January. Then on the 5th of February, I had Uber One. Okay, so for the for the year of 2023, with my bank, I had 1 year free for Uber One, and then it charged me, and I had completely forgotten. So that's a charge that I didn't know was going to happen, or at least I didn't remember it was going to happen, but I did cancel it after. So Uber One, and then I went to the pharmacy. I had to buy some stuff, and because of all the previous medical needs that I had last year, I didn't have any money left in my saving envelope for medical needs, so I had to go through my credit card. So in total for that week, I spent $50. Then on the second week, only Friday and Saturday I did spend. So I spent for food and also at the pharmacy. And the total for that is $55. On the third week, I did buy a theme for my cell phone, and that was $2.99. And then I used the Uber. That was for when I went grocery shopping. So I used the Uber that day for $16.52, and the total of the week is $20. So just so you know, these are not like the correct total amounts. I round everything up to the closest $5, and just because that's how I pay my things. So if it's $48, I'm gonna put $50 on my credit card. And then on Wednesday 24th, so this is a shared car rental service that we have in my city. So I don't have a subscription, so I don't pay every month, but I have to pay every time I use the car. And the way it's done is like you use the car, but then on the next billing invoice, then you will have that expense added. So it was only $5.41 this time, so it wasn't that much, so I only counted $5. So let's see how much I owe for the whole month in my credit card. So that's 50 plus 55 plus 20 plus $5. So that would be $130 for this. So in this month, I have added $130 to my credit card in debt. So even though it doesn't seem like a lot, but it adds up at the end of the month. So $130 more that I owe in my credit card, it's still a significant amount to pay. Okay, so now let's see this part. So at the beginning of the month, I don't know if you remember, but I did say when we were cash stuffing, so it was for paycheck number 1 for the month of January, when we were cash stuffing, there were 2 envelopes that I had reached a $500 mark. And that's when I take the money out and I put it in my bank account. And one of those was my debt envelope. So I did pay some debts. So the first one that I paid PayBright. So I was owing, there was $350 left to pay, so I did pay that. So I added $350. So this is my first loan. I have 2 loans for my student debt, and I usually only pay $100, and this time I paid $200. So there was $200 paid here. My credit card, like I said, I'm not paying this right now. And then my second student loan, I paid the usual. That's $131.68. So let's see how much I paid in my debts this month. Plus $131.68. So that would be $681.68. Can you see here? Yeah, I hope so. Okay, $681.68. So that's how much I have paid in my debts for this month. And what was planned was $277. So I think I doubled the amount, or maybe a little more than doubled. So I'm very glad that I paid a big chunk in my debts. And this one is actually gone. This is paid off. So I'm super glad about that. So this is what I was talking about before, that I was inspired by Planner Mom, Budget Mom. I don't know. It's in my description box. I always forget her name. I'm sorry, guys. I'm really bad at remembering names, especially the ones that I don't talk to every day. So that's an ADHD thing. So I'm very sorry if I don't remember her name. So this is my check-in. So I divided in 2. So the first one is the first one is just for the savings, and then the second one is for my debt snowball. So let's do this now. So for food, the actual amount that I had for food, it's always $500, and I didn't go over anything. I didn't change it, so I still had $500. This hasn't changed. I'm going to do this first. It's going to be easier for me to do the whole thing at the end. So spending $215. I should have looked at that before. How could I do this? Okay, so what I did is I went to my digital planner because it just sums everything up by itself, so I don't have to go and flipping all my pages one after the other. Everything is here. So the spending, it should be $215. That's what it was planned, and it is $215. So this hasn't changed. It's the same amount. For 911, so that's my emergency fund. So instead of paying $140, I put $190. Oh, sorry, I made a mistake. Sorry, this is the first time that I'm using this, so I actually did make a mistake. Because this is the first time that I'm doing this, I make mistakes, but also I don't have a previous month. So I'm not going to be able to know what's the difference between the other months. So this is the first time I'm going to be able to have the comparison next month. So here in emergency fund, I had planned last month $140, but I actually ended up paying $190. So that's an increase of $50. For my debt, instead of paying $160 that had been planned, no, sorry, instead of stuffing $160, I stuffed 345. So 345 minus 160, that's 185 more. And then medical didn't change, so that's not change. And for back to school, instead of paying $50, I paid $80. So that's a difference of $30 more. So now let's see. These are the ones that are most important for me, that I'm focusing more. So the first part, food and spending, I just wanted to know what amount of the money that I stuff is actually just for spending. It's not staying in my wallet. So I wanted to see the chunk of this, how much it is. And I wanted to see the chunk of the things that I'm really focusing on, which is my emergency fund, my debt envelope, my medical envelope, and my back to school envelope. So I wanted to see how much of this is taking away from my savings income. So this month, the total saving income that I had stuffed is $2,545. So let's see how much of that is. So let's see. 200. So that's, let's say that's about 20%. So the food takes 20% of my total income. I think that's a big chunk, but at the same time, a lot of that is for long time storage. So I think it's a good investment. But let's see. Then my spending. So the money that I actually just used to spend on whatever, it's actually not much. I'm very surprised. It's only 8% of the whole budget. Then now, so these are the important or high priority envelopes for me. Let's see. So how much would that be? That's only 7%. I spend more myself than actually budgeting. That's crazy. Okay. So now let's see how much goes into my debt. Okay, so that's good. So for my debts, 14% of all the income, well, all the savings that I do in the month is 14%. And I think that's great because between my debt and my emergency fund, it's about 21%. And I think that's a very good amount. Even though, like, I'm really focusing on my debt right now because I want to be debt free in 2 or 3 years, 3 years tops. I think that's good. And probably this amount, once I paid off my debt, will go probably to emergency fund, but we'll see once we get there. Okay, so my medical, let's see how my medical is not that much. Let's see. Yeah. About 2% of my total savings are for my medical needs, which makes sense because I don't need them as much now, but I do like to have some money in, especially if we go to the dentist or things like that. So I think that's fair. Okay, so let's see for back to school for my son. So this month, only 3%, but see, my son has a little more than my medical needs. You know what? This is the first time that I do this, and I find this very, I don't know, it's very interesting to see where my money goes. And I feel like it would help me reorganize or reprioritize some envelopes, but we'll see. I'm going to do it maybe a couple of months and see how it looks like. Especially that this month in January, I had bonus income coming in. So these amounts are probably higher than what they really are. But now that I think of it, in February, I do have 3 paychecks. So I'll probably wait to March. Which means the end of March when I'm going to do the checking, seeing like where my money went. That's when I'm really gonna know how I use my money, I think. I don't know. Let's see. So in total, let's see. 20 plus 8 plus 7 plus 14 plus 2 plus 3. So that's okay. So in everything, it's 54%. That's a lot. So 54% of my savings income goes between, let's say, food and my high priority, which makes sense, I think. I don't know. This is interesting, guys. I'm doing this with you, but it's very interesting. So now for my debt snowball. Like I said, so when I started the month, so I did pay $350. I finished paying my debt. So I paid $303 more, and there's nothing left. This debt is paid, guys. Paid. So now we'll be focusing on this. Okay, let's see. I'm gonna do it this way. So I have this left to pay, and this was at the beginning. So 675, and then it was 12,310 and 69. Guys, I only have 5% left to pay from the beginning of the loan. That's crazy. So here, the credit card. Okay, so I'm gonna start back. So at the beginning of the loan was 1,200, 310, and 69. This month I paid $200. I have 675 and $29 left to pay, and I had paid $100 more. So I topped it up for $100. So I have 5% of the total debt left to pay. Now for the credit card, like I said, I'm not really counting this. So my credit card limit is $2,000. I don't have $2,000, like it's not topped. But I just leave it as is right now because I'm not focusing on this. Whenever I'm going to be there, whenever it's going to be time to pay the credit card, I'm going to put the real amounts. So right now, I just consider that I have 100% to pay. Loan number 2. So for the loan number 2, it started at $12,564.23. Every month I pay the same amount as of now. Remember, this is a debt snowball. So whenever you pay one, the money just gets added on to the second one. So on the second one, you can pay more. And when the second one is paid, then you have more money to pay the third one and fourth one. So you go from the smallest debt to the biggest debt. That's why this one had $350 to pay. And then, this one has 600 and 2,000 and then 12,000. So it gets paid like a snowball, Okay, so every month, this is the agreement that I have. So I pay $131 and $68 as of now. So whenever I'm going to be able to pay more, I'm going to be paying more to this. And hopefully by 3 years from now, so by 2026 or 2027, this is going to be paid off. That's my goal. I don't want to be paying this my whole life. That's like a big no-no. And if you notice at the beginning, I had $12,564.23. I don't have the real beginning amount just because, I don't know, I went to the bank, but this is very crazy. Like, I don't know what the amount was, like the first amount. I can't remember. But by the end of December, this was the balance. So I did pay $131.68. The interest rate on this loan is 7.7%. Guys, by the end of January, I had only paid about $30. $30 of $131. That is so frustrating. I can't wait to top it off, so to be paying more of the principal and less of the interest, because it is outrageous. Outrageous. I can't believe that. So, okay, so just to explain, my loan number 1 was from one school. Loan number 2 is for another school. So loan number 1 went directly with the government. So with the, student loan ministry, whatever. And then the loan number 2 went through the bank. So, and it's just like specific banks that you can make those student loans, how you call that, student loans. And so this one is through a bank and this one is directly through the government. So that's where I am. So I didn't pay more. I just paid what I had to pay. So now let's see how much I have left to pay here. Oops. So 3306. Yep. I pretty much have 100% to pay because I haven't even paid anything. Oh, that is so frustrating. That is so frustrating. This loan, honestly, is really frustrating me. But this is what I have for you guys right now. I think it's very interesting to do it like that. You can do it as the Budget Mom Planner does it, which is for the whole income. But I like to separate like this for my debt snowball and then for my saving income, since the saving income is what you, sorry, I have hiccups now. So, because this is what you see, like I said, I don't show like my complete total income, but you see my savings income. So I think it's very interesting to see it in this way. And then you saw how much I added to my credit card debt here. So for the month of January, I had $130. So guys, I hope you like this. I hope it might just inspire you to do the budget the way that you like and the way that it fits your needs and your lifestyle. Usually budget planners for me don't work because I just don't do my budget that way. And this is what works for me. And you know, you don't have to fit in a box, and just make the planner the way that works for you and the way that your brain works and everything. So this said, I hope you have a very healthy financial life, that you have financial health, that you have psychological health, and you have emotional health, because we all need that. So thank you very much, guys, and see you next time. Bye.